The exposure of the spy network, known as the Sydney Club, remains one of the most intriguing and mysterious episodes in the history of intelligence during the 20th century. Operating in the 1940s, this secretive group was allegedly involved in large-scale espionage activities, gathering classified information and transmitting it to foreign intelligence agencies. The case is shrouded in conspiracies, hidden betrayals, and questions that still remain unanswered today. The Sydney Club was not an official organization, but rather a loosely connected network of individuals, politicians, military officers, journalists, and academics who shared pro-Soviet views and an interest in geopolitical affairs. Some members were idealists who believed in a global revolution, while others were recruited by Soviet intelligence services. The network was suspected of being linked to the KGB, then known as the NKVD, and providing the Soviet Union with valuable intelligence about Western military strategies, nuclear programs, and political decisions. During World War II, Australia played a significant role in the Pacific Theater, making it a valuable target for espionage. The Soviet Union was particularly interested in obtaining information about Anglo-American war plans, scientific developments, and post-war strategies. As a result, the Sydney Club became a hub of clandestine activity, with its members allegedly gathering intelligence from diplomatic meetings, military reports, and scientific discussions. Conspiracies and covert operations. The true extent of the Sydney Club's activities is still debated. Some sources claim that the group was merely a social gathering for intellectual debates, while others argue that it was a sophisticated espionage ring with deep connections in the Australian government and military. One of the most controversial aspects of the case is the alleged involvement of high-ranking officials. Declassified documents suggest that Soviet agents had infiltrated key Australian institutions, including the Department of External Affairs and Intelligence Services. Some researchers believe that the Sydney Club operated similarly to the infamous Cambridge 5 in Britain, providing Moscow with highly sensitive data. There were also rumors of hidden financial transactions and secret codes used by the club's members to communicate with their Soviet handlers. Some reports indicate that encrypted messages were exchanged through newspapers, radio broadcasts, and even books with marked passages. The unmasking, betrayals, and counterintelligence. By the late 1940s, Western counterintelligence agencies, particularly the newly formed Australian Security Intelligence Organization, ASIO, had become increasingly suspicious of Soviet espionage activities in the country. Tensions between the Soviet Union and the West had escalated with the onset of the Cold War, leading to a crackdown on suspected Soviet sympathizers. The breakthrough in the case came from intercepted communications and defectors who revealed the inner workings of Soviet espionage in Australia. One of the most significant moments was the defection of Vladimir Petrov, a Soviet diplomat and intelligence officer, in 1954. Although this occurred after the peak of the Sydney Club's activity, Petrov's testimony provided crucial insights into Soviet intelligence networks operating in Australia. Several members of the Sydney Club were placed under surveillance, interrogated, or forced to resign from their positions. However, due to the lack of solid evidence, many of the suspected spies were never officially charged. This only added to the aura of mystery surrounding the case. Some believe that key figures in the network managed to cover their tracks and escape justice, while others suspect that certain individuals were protected by powerful allies. Legends and myths, the shadow of the Sydney Club. Over the years, the Sydney Club has become the subject of numerous theories and speculations. Some claim that hidden archives contain the full list of spies, while others believe that classified files were deliberately destroyed to prevent a diplomatic scandal. One of the most persistent legends is that the Sydney Club had an underground safe house where classified documents were stored before being sent to Moscow. According to some accounts, this location has never been found, and secret materials may still be hidden somewhere in Australia. Another mystery concerns the sudden disappearances of certain individuals linked to the club. Some members allegedly fled to the Soviet Union, while others vanished without a trace, fueling theories of assassinations or secret deals with intelligence agencies. Although decades have passed since the exposure of the Sydney Club, the case remains a fascinating chapter in the history of espionage. It highlights the complexity of intelligence wars during the Cold War and the difficulty of uncovering hidden networks. For modern historians and intelligence experts, the Sydney Club serves as a reminder of the enduring nature of espionage, where truth and deception are often intertwined. New declassified documents may eventually reveal more details about the case, but for now, the Sydney Club remains one of Australia's most enigmatic spy stories, filled with conspiracies, betrayals, and unanswered questions.